the most part, this is in fact entirely has all been about increasing vaccination and just sending out that message that no matter where we are in the country, vaccines matter. This is not just about Tamaki Makaurau, it's not just about Auckland.
That's right.
We have to make sure that we lift our vaccination rates everywhere. And that includes in this, the most isolated and rural parts of New Zealand.
But it was described as last minute. Is that a concern of what's happening in Waikato?
No, not at all. I mean, as you can imagine, whilst we're managing the outbreak in Auckland, it's the ability to plan in advance has diminished quite a bit. So when we're planning my weeks, we tend to set out the decision-making points, and then in between times, if I'm able to move, then I'll move. So we haven't felt like we're really in a position to do that until in the latter part of this week. Key decisions had been made for the week, so it was my view that I could exit the building and come and do what is, alongside managing that outbreak, the key thing is vaccines.
Now in this region, I believe the immunisation rate is 50%, and the national one is 80%. That's for first dosage.
Yeah, I just got the latest through from yesterday for you, if you'd like. So Gisborne 68.5 first dose now. Second dose 48.4. So that's where we're at the moment.
And
so
the Maori
that's
rate last time I looked at it was about 55.5. And my question is, we've got high profile, hard working Maori health providers, as you guys would know, but the Maori rate is still not fantastic. What else needs to be done?
Yeah. And so what's interesting to me is that the Māori rate amongst older members of our community is high, really high. And it just that demonstrates to me that actually we have the potential to get high rates. We just need to throw everything at it. Yes, it absolutely makes a difference to have community who know those who are out vaccinating, because that means it's all about trust. But the other thing we need to make sure we're doing is supporting the providers. They'll know what's going to work in their communities. When we talked about buses with Tairāwhiti, they said, look, things like this will work, but we need to be able to get into our rural communities as well and be really agile. The second thing we know is that for the people who have not been vaccinated yet, often it's because they're waiting. It's not necessarily that they're anti-vaccination, they're waiting. And I today have had half a dozen conversations with people who actually, when they talk to other people who have been vaccinated, who may have had doubts themselves, that is changing their mind. And so that's the kind of work we need to do.
Do you have an expectation also that we're getting told it's not a matter of if, but when? That presumably will also motivate some of the more reluctant or hesitant to even come along.
Yeah, well,
is that a government expectation?
Yeah, well,
is that a government expectation?
Expectation that we must. Sorry, make me deaf.
That the fact that the expectation now is that COVID, it's a case of it will arrive, not if.
Well, COVID is currently here. COVID is here.
Delta's here.
Delta is already here. We are doing our very best to stamp out that outbreak in Auckland. But as you can see, we've already had some situations where we've had movement through Palmerston North, Tauranga, Raglan, Hamilton, Northland, Kāwhia. So look, we're doing everything we can, but we want everyone to be protected should it leave those borders.
90%, that's a realistic target. I think you've been reluctant in the past to give a date.
Well, it is a realistic target because you can see what's happening in Auckland right now. We're over 85%.
Yeah.
So that shows
so
what's possible. I just think it shows what's possible. And yet when you go into some of those other areas, some people don't think it's close to them yet. So that's why we've got to just say, now's the time.